What's up, everybody? Welcome to Roll Tide Cafe, a part of the Bama Standard Network. As you guys can see here today, I'm going to be the host today. So I'll go ahead and let the co-host introduce himself since he's not used to it.
This is Justin Riley from the Bama Standard. Usually I'm hosting my show, but every once in a while I like to be a co-host so that I can talk. I know that's something that doesn't usually happen for me. So I'm excited to be actually in the co-host chair for a change to share my thoughts, especially about this topic.
All right. Well, Justin, I'll go ahead and let you put it on the screen for everybody.
Yes,
But
sir.
today we're talking about what the path of success looks like for Ty Simpson, what it will take for him to be successful this season. We're talking about the upcoming 2025 and 2026 season, right? So we're going to jump straight into this. Listen, this is a topic that's going to be discussed quite a bit leading up to the August 30th game against Florida State. But Justin, tell me in your eyes, what has to be successful right away, short term, long term, what it will take for Ty to lead us to a national championship?
Well, absolutely. First of all, I just want to go ahead and start this by saying that Ty Simpson is the unequivocal leader of this offense.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and get this out of the way. While Kalen Russell is a fantastic young prospect, and his time is going to come at the right time. And that's essentially what we need to have happen. We don't need to rush him into battle. If you try to do it too early, it can hurt him long term. So Tide is, and that's something that Alabama fans should be very excited about. But if I had to say the path, it all starts. It's going to be layered. You got to do it gradually. Bama fans, you should not be expecting him to be throwing for 450 yards and 3 touchdowns his first outing. So go ahead and throw that out of the way. Now, can he do it? It's a strong possibility. But to put that kind of expectation on him right away is just absurd. The other thing is, too, Alabama fans, as AJ McCarron has said recently, be patient. And I know there's a part of our fan base that are waiting for him to fail to say, I told you so. He's not the guy. I told you it was Keelan. This is why he didn't start over Jalen Milroe. No, stop all that. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, Ty Simpson is going to throw an interception. He may turn over the ball. He may miss an open wide receiver. He may make a mistake. But listen, we don't need to usher him off the field and onto the sideline, never to be seen again. All right? So now that I've prefaced what I'm going to say with that, let's go ahead and jump into it. As I said, we don't need him to go from 0 to Heisman very first game. What we really need him to do is be a game manager and allow the game to come organically to him. So what does that mean? Alabama needs to do something we haven't done in quite some time, regardless of whatever the circumstances were. That's run the damn ball. Rely heavily on this run game.
Yep.
We have a deep running back room. We've been talking about it all season. We knew it last year, but because of circumstances we're not going to talk about, we weren't allowed to see them thrive. Well, now they have the platform to do it. So take the mantle, carry the load for Ty right off. Be that running back room that we have been predicting. If the running backs do not show up and show out early on and it all gets thrust on Ty's shoulders, I think you're going to have a problem. So we need to have Jam Miller, Richard Young, and Daniel Hill, and possibly Draylon Washington pop off. And then occasionally have Ty get that conversion on third down until he's comfortable to be able to say, all right, it's time. We're going to do things my way. And this is going to be my offense. Also, I'm not saying that Ty shouldn't take chances. By all means, I think Ty should take chances. One of two things is going to happen. He's either going to make a mistake and turn the ball over or not convert, or he's going to be successful and connect. Back to the first possible outcome. If he makes a mistake, turns the ball over, guess what? We got a strong defense that can get the ball back and then allow him to try again. So to kind of illustrate my point, if you really need a good example, I think you need to look back to 2011, the way that Nick Saban brought along AJ McCarron.
Yep.
They didn't require him to just wow college football right off the bat. They allowed him to gain his ground, gain his footing. While he was trying to figure out his game and get that swagger, they relied on Trent Richardson. They relied on Eddie Lacy. And then when it was time for AJ to be AJ, he was AJ. He didn't disappoint. Now, that being said, there's going to come a point in this season, whether it's against Georgia, sooner or even after, where Ryan Grubb's going to come up to Ty and say, all right, Ty, I need you to go out and win this game. And then Ty needs to be ready. But outside of that formula right there, I don't think there's any other formula that will allow him to be as successful.
No doubt. So, and I think what you're going to see from my opinion, because once again, I try to not always go, with the grain. We don't drink the Kool-Aid over here, especially on the Bama Center Network, right? So we speak in reality here. I think, and I'm not going to call it a team because I'm not talking down to teams and call them inferior or whatever you want to say. I think that will happen earlier on with Ryan Grubb and Ty Simpson talking about take over the game against a team you should blow out, right? So go out there, take over the game, show us what you can do right now, and let's build on that throughout the season. You go back to that 2011 season, you kind of saw that AJ early on against inferior teams, as people may want to say, and then you build on that. And then obviously we know what happened in the LSU game. AJ McCarron does not get enough credit for that game, us, winning 21-0 right against LSU in making critical throws. My God, Kevin Norwood, probably one of the most clutch receivers during that season we had, no doubt about it. And I think you're spot on with it, man. Like Ty Simpson, you don't want to shoulder everything on him in critical games like against Georgia, maybe even against Florida State, whatever that may look like. But look, if the kid's got it, let him show out, kind of like Mac Jones. A lot of people didn't expect that out of Mac Jones, and he kind of owned up to it, built the confidence, and obviously by the end of the season, we saw him talking trash, right, calling out people. And I think we could see something very similar with Ty Simpson from that aspect. And I 100% agree with you on the Keelan Russell thing. Keelan's going to be great. But, guys, let's remember, Tua Tagovailoa was not a starter his freshman season. People want to anoint him as the greatest. Bryce Young, same thing. They want to anoint him as the greatest. And I kind of agree with that under the Saban era as one of the most talented quarterbacks. He did not start his freshman season, right? These guys still had to wait their turn. You still have to develop. You have to turn into that quarterback you're going to be in the future. But with all that being said, definitely have to agree with you. Definitely agree with AJ McCarron on that, talking about not being too harsh, too quick. And my goodness, I cannot believe you said he was going to throw a turnover, right? Throw an interception. I mean,
I know. I'm a Greg McElroy. I'm being too objective here.
I know, right? So, no, with all that being said, everybody make sure to leave in the comments what you guys think about all this. But any last words before we get off here?
Absolutely. I'm going to go to another sentiment that I briefly touched on at the beginning of this video was be patient with Ty Simpson. Again, we don't need a fan base divided like it has been here as of late. We don't need split camps cheering for Ty, split camps cheering for Austin Mack, split camps cheering for Keelan Russell. We need Bama Nation to be all in. And look, like I said before, Ty is going to stumble. He may struggle. It may take a minute for him to figure things out, but that doesn't mean that he's bad. And it doesn't mean that you should automatically bail out on him. Now, look, those who are actively cheering against Ty Simpson, just for the sake of proving yourself right, do you understand at what cost that comes with? If Ty Simpson struggles, just like those who are cheering against DeBoer, if Coach DeBoer struggles, that means Alabama as a whole is going to have a rough year. Now, are you willing to sacrifice having a not so tied season just for the sake of you being right? Or do you want Ty and Coach DeBoer to succeed? The obvious answer is cheer your guy on. Now, that doesn't mean you can't be objective when things aren't looking right. You can call it out. That's what we do on this network. We don't sugarcoat. But we're not going to go into split camps and actively cheer against someone just because that's not our guy or because we're in our feelings because of what happened last year. We're not going to go into that, but you understand what we're coming from.
No, absolutely. So with that being said, guys, like I said, make sure to leave in the comments on what you guys think about this. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the Bama Standard Network. Make sure to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, everything else. There's so much more content out there. Appreciate you getting on here, Justin, giving your take. Everybody, like I said, make sure to jump in the comments and leave your take. Other than that, everybody have a good day. And as always, Justin,
roll down Tide.